Let this podcast run your life.
Mandatory toothbrushing laws, harnessing the awesome power of zombies, free voting platform, and a tyrant that you should trust.
It's the Team Supreme podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome, pony lovers. You've chosen to let this podcast run your life. I'm your humble narrator, Tyler Lindsay. Perched perilously above me is the mythical skater boy, Corey Horgan. Out yonder is Brett Lee, my EDC. From deep in the taint of Texas, Clayton Hunt will join us. JC Cook will be here through the magic of space junk. And joining us for tonight's episode, Brian Hagan, the androgynous cowboy, corn-fed though he is, will be with us. And producer person Eric Fogelberg is making vulgar hand gestures in the background as this 1,000,000-watt zombie-powered glitter bomb drops on your cerebellum. So quit fucking pop blocking. Let's make this one count.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Episode 5.
How's it going, everybody?
I'm
Great.
I hear, God, all this applause. It's like deafening in my headphones.
Well, we are in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
We keep
That's
it
not
live.
a laugh track, folks. No, that is real life people.
The realest of the real live people.
These tickets go for a quarter of a Bitcoin right now. So if you can afford that, they are
Big
out
dollar.
there.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, if you can figure out how to spend a Bitcoin, then you're more than welcome to show up.
Can't use the Silk Road.
So what do we got going on? What are we talking about tonight? Anybody got any interesting news? Been to protests or been watching them on TV? Or
It's
just
2020. We always got interesting news.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very true.
On my sports radio that I actually got a chance to listen to today, since I got in the car for one of the first times in a while, they were talking about who'd have thought the Winter Classic was just a few months ago. Like we had the Winter Classic, the outdoor hockey game in Dallas, Texas. Was like, it went off like beautifully. It was perfect. Everything was amazing. And then that was the height of 2020. After that, everything just went to shit.
I mean, special shout out to the Mayans for fucking up and getting it 8 years off.
Yeah, seriously. Someone pointed out to me that like Australia was on fire before, and I was like, shit, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like, with everything else that's happened.
That seems like so 2016.
Right.
And then, like, the Amazon was on fire. Everywhere's on fire. Now it's just everything's on fire.
Fucking madness.
I was going to say one continent on fire. Psh, that's nothing.
Yeah, oh man, 2020's got more than that for you.
Yeah, motherfuckers' immune systems are on fire right now.
Yeah, literally. It's crazy shit.
So, I mean, but there's still important shit to be protested, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a haircut.
No, God.
I need to get to Chili's.
Jeez, yeah,
Well,
seriously.
there was that important shit, I guess.
I mean, I'm sitting here going, oh, the tyranny of the government locking us all down in our homes, friends. I can't get to Chili's and eat my wings shirtless.
It's getting really hard for me to fuck my masseuse, so...
Yes, that's a definite issue, a definite problem I've been having too.
Fuck my masseuse.
I had to
start
talk to my
using
wife
that.
the other day. Oh, my God.
Ooh,
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like, the place that remember the national news, the lady in Dallas that kept her salon open. She's like this big titty blonde MILF. Like,
Right.
Of course she stayed open. She's like making $30 on the side giving handies, I guess, or whatever.
And then she became a sort of hero all of a sudden, like this folk hero to all of the LARPing protester types. And they're all surrounding her. And then there were like evangelicals down there. And it's just a weird world right now. You've got this strange religious streak going through through everything with this deity worship of God figure Daddy Donald Trump. And you've got hair salon owners being like the new the new civil rights leaders. Everything is backwards. It's all perverse, man. I'm telling you, 2020. If I wasn't going to tell you when y'all invited me on here tonight, but I've been reinterpreting the book of Revelation, okay? This is what I do in my own spare time, and it straight up says, 2020, baby, it's going to be a dog shit year, and Jesus is coming back. So there you heard it. There you heard it.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
Breaking news,
I had heard that y'all didn't have movie theaters in Kansas. I just didn't believe it.
They all got blown away by tornadoes.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
See, I've been saying
You don't
that
have a Barnes and Noble, just a Walden Books, right?
We don't even have Walden Books books. What are you talking about? Who reads in Kansas?
Kindling.
Good God. Yeah. Especially if it's about, I don't know, them funny people.
Why would you need a bookstore? There's only one book, the Bible.
Now you're talking my language.
And Mein Kampf.
Oh, yes, of course.
That's usually hidden in the bathroom.
God uses his imperfect vessels to write his perfect literature.
Yeah, it's infallible.
I mean, nothing against religion, but if I get stuck in any kind of overlapping Venn diagram with the evangelicals, I'm out. I'm the fuck out. Whatever it was that made me overlap them, I drop it like a goddamn hot potato.
Well, it's a real problem, Tyler. I recently engaged with a good friend of mine. One friend had invited me over. It was a real life thing. Hadn't been anywhere in a while. And by God, after that night, I realized I want to go back to COVID-19 days and not go anywhere. I mean, this is a guy I've been friends with for over 20 years, and he's got this evangelical streak now, mixed with the conspiracy theories, mixed with this real distrust of government, yet at the same time is loving government. And I finally said to him, how can you be such a hypocrite? And I had to leave, because that's just dominating so many people right now and dominating the topic of conversation. It's like the Groypers came out of their little hole on Twitter and suddenly started having real life influence, and it's maddening, sick, and disgusting to me.
No, I mean, it's Q seeping into boomer Facebook. I mean, it's legit. My mom posted something, and I was like, how the George Floyd murder was a false flag. And that, his body, that wasn't a body, that was a training dummy. Oh my God. I was like, really? Fucking delete this.
Yeah. That's...
I don't even...
crazy.
I don't usually comment on her stupid fucking Fox News bullshit, but that's just disgusting.
It really is.
I got a Facebook advertisement from some lawyer saying that George Floyd died in Corpus Christi, and it was so... But it was a sponsored post on Facebook, so someone gave Facebook money to put this in my feed, and I'm just like... And they wonder why people are like, oh, yeah, fake news. Because they're paying Facebook to spread it.
And Facebook's accepting that money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even people just posting, a friend of mine was, blown away with, some people close to them were posting stuff on Facebook that was just, they couldn't even help themselves. They had to say, yo, you are just being a flat-out asshole. This whole list of things here's all these reasons to unfriend me. There's 2 genders and, all this intolerant shit. And it's all right, man,
See ya.
Gee whiz,
right.
You're really why do you even want to go out and say something so... I mean, even if you do think that,
With friends like these, who needs hemorrhoids?
Yeah, right.
They're
I felt
worse
bad.
than
My friend
hemorrhoids.
was
I haven't
trying to
found the
hold back.
cream yet to kill them off. They're more like a super destructive herpes.
I really feel like the revolution is close. All we have to do is get all these evangelical Christians to start playing Minecraft, and then we've got the youth.
That's shit. It. That needs to be the focus from here on out.
Good old Minecraft.
All the good that social media can accomplish, and yeah.
I threw that reference in there because I accidentally in my infinite wisdom, told my 12-year-old sister that I'd do a podcast. And so she followed us on Spotify, and I'm like, oh, God, no.
I think that might be contributing to delinquency. I'm not sure.
I'm sure the feds will be at my house any minute.
Don't answer.
Episode 4 hasn't dropped yet, so you have a chance to keep her from listening to that one.
Yes. I just need a really big magnet and all of her electronic devices.
I don't know if that worked with solid state, dude.
Does that still work nowadays?
No.
Do kids know that used to fuck up
That hasn't
technology?
worked since the last Blockbuster closed.
The last Blockbuster.
I remember having at the radio station the huge magnet, the plugged into the wall with the huge cord to bulk erase all the cart tapes. That was so much fun. I actually took a cassette tape belonging to a former roommate of mine who was just an absolute jerk off. Didn't pay his rent, nothing. And I took it and I ran it over that, only I didn't put it all the way down, just up above so you could fill the magnets. And it completely screwed up his John Michael Barry or whatever that guy's name was. Horrible country singer from the 90s. Completely warbled his tape. And I'm very proud of that achievement to this day.
Nice. Yeah, we, in the studio, when I was learning, we degaussed the heads. I've degaussed a CRT screen before. Oh, all the fun.
You used to just play with the magnets on the TV screen, and your parents be like, don't break the fucking TV. Stop that.
That is not a good idea.
Guys. We got to stop talking about magnets. It's insensitive. JC is a juggalo. He doesn't know how they work.
I was to say it. Oh, get out of my head.
Whoop, whoop.
You see, magnets are like sticky metal.
Oh, yeah. That Juggalos for Vermin Supreme thing never took off, I don't think.
It didn't. And I am I would say I'm 100% to blame. But I don't want to be too hard on myself. I blame the Insane Clown Posse for never getting on board.
True. Also, you could blame illiteracy.
They just couldn't read.
How does it work?
We were sending things out, but they couldn't read any of them. So
I mean, he doesn't know how magnets work. How would he know how Facebook works?
So, has anybody actually gone to a protest? Or?
Yeah. Actually, out in Boston, there was the Black Lives Matter protest during the day when I went. It was really chill, actually. Really nice vibes.
Nice.
People were pretty respectful and, showing that they gave a shit.
Were you like marching, or were you all hanging out?
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
same
a
spot?
march, sort of like through the city to like the Boston Common.
Cool.
It was nice. There was a whole moment of silence at the end.
Were the porta potties full this time?
Actually, this time, because of COVID-19, I didn't even see. I don't know how anybody went to the bathroom, because the whole time I did not. There was no opportunity. Although I didn't want to go into any places, so maybe
you
some
didn't go
places.
use the pisser and Cheers or anything?
Yeah, actually, we did walk by Cheers. I don't know if it was that day or like pretty nearby, but I realized that was the fucking bar because they put a sign there. I said, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, right.
I've been living here for like 3 years, and I didn't check out any of these fucking places.
Did everybody know your name?
Unfortunately.
Oh, but
But
Brett, didn't you go to a protest too?
I did go to a protest. It marched the entire street of Market around here. Recorded the whole thing. Started off with prayer. They got to the top of the hill, started chanting, we can't breathe, like a lot of the other protests you hear. Once we got to a church along the way, we stopped again where this lady held another prayer, and then we continued down the path to the end of the street at the end of Market where I believe that's where the police station is, and they had another area where they met for prayer and had some interviews with the local news agencies. Everybody there was peaceful, and the closest I saw to any confrontation was easily disputed because of the reason everybody was there. Everybody was considerate, nothing was damaged, and if anything, everybody was talking about like the Bible and stuff that we were talking about earlier.
Now, did you get your George Soros check yet?
I did get my socialist tax refund.
That's
boy.
wonderful. That's wonderful. How were the buses? Were they social distance spacing?
They were not, but the restaurants are.
That's
Man.
wonderful.
My brother's back to work at his restaurant. That shit's crazy.
I answered an ad on Craigslist to be a bust-in Antifas. And I'm just waiting for my call back on that one.
I'm waiting on being a crisis actor.
Right.
Yeah, where do you apply for the job?
I would like to know, because that really, I'm 45 years old, and I'll tell you what, that would be a great gig heading into my twilight years. To be a crisis actor, just show up at various places, collect my Soros money on one hand, my crisis actor check on the other. Now, if I can just get those Koch brothers to give me a little bit more money than they're giving me already, I will be a billionaire by the time I'm 60.
Right on.
I do love that Coke money.
Me too. Oh, wait.
I went to a protest kind of after I'd gotten back from your place, Tyler, that weekend. It was not very well organized. I found it on Reddit. And basically, we met up at Emancipation Park in Houston. I went fishing, essentially. Had my stick, my line, with a nice juicy donut, and made sure the cops knew. I was like, come on, you know you want it. You know you want it.
Were you wearing your Hawaiian shirt?
I was actually. And I was up and carrying my handgun. And when I got to the park, the police walked up and were like, okay, we're just going to be here for just nearby you no matter what. I'm like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want you near me. So whatever. But it goes to show that when you protest unarmed in Houston, because I've been to unarmed Black Lives Matter protests in Houston, and the first thing HPD does is they get their police horses, they ride it right through the crowd, trampling on whoever they want to. They go in, they try to arrest the demonstrator, the organizers and everything. And then when you're armed, oh no, we're just here. We're just here. No big deal. Oh, you just guys be okay. Well, everything's all right, guys? Night and day.
I saw the footage from one of those protests in Houston where they trampled that poor girl that was, God, she was just holding the sign, right?
Right.
And they ran her down from behind.
That's
I think
how
everybody's
HPD
seen
does.
that old guy who bled out the ear after getting knocked on his head.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like 75 years old.
Pretty gnarly scenes that have come out of that shit.
Yeah. He's now known as the 75-year-old Antifa super soldier, right?
Oh, right.
That's exactly it. They train him to fall down and bleed,
Right, and bleed.
all over.
He's going to be doing those Life Alert commercials before too long. Making the big buck.
Yeah, he's interesting, actually. I want to know more about him. It's my understanding from what I've read, he's been an activist for a long, long time under the Catholic Workers. And I've always found them to be a very interesting organization. Dorothy Day is a personal spiritual hero of mine. And by far, they are not Antifa super soldiers, whatever the fuck that might be anyway. And then to watch our president put those tweets out, blaming this guy who, has been on the right side of everything for so long. I mean, the Catholic Workers are just a fantastic human rights organization, basically. And to see him say that about him, it was just straight up defamation. Yeah. I hope his lawyer makes him some money.
Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't defamation when he accused Ted Cruz's father of conspiring to kill JFK. So, I mean, he says whatever the fuck he wants, and it's absurd. What did he say the other day? That nobody knew what Juneteenth was until he
Until he held a rally
on Juneteenth. Yes.
He said that?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What, he put himself as the reason why people know Juneteenth now?
Oh God, you've got to see the transcript of what actually happened. Like, he said that, and then the reporter's like, your administration put out a thing on Juneteenth last year, a statement. And the year before that, and the year before that. And he's like, oh, did we? Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
Well, he
literally those were his words.
Idiot. An absolute
You got to give the guy a break, though. I mean, that's just a side effect of snorting fat rails of Calgon to try to keep the COVID at bay.
Yeah.
That is true. It does slow the old brain a bit.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
You'll actually have to remind me, what is COVID again? I didn't. What's this?
Liberal hoax.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's a common cold.
If you had driven by, Clayton just kind of alluded to it. If you had driven by our house a few weekends ago, you would have taken us for having, anti-COVID protest, anti-lockdown protest or something. We were incredibly irresponsible. We had a couple, 3 people here throughout the day. I don't remember a single one of them wearing a mask at our house for my wife's birthday. And we were mostly social distance. We didn't really hug or shake hands or anything like that. But there were a few too many people here at once. And,
Whoa, Tyler, y'all were social distance? I gave everyone a French kiss at the party.
Well, I missed mine then.
Oh,
but
buddy,
it was.
You mean a freedom kiss, right?
Exactly.
Freedom
A
kiss.
lot of fucking fun, and I don't regret it. It felt weird at the time, and it felt weird
afterward.
The next day, and
I've noticed
for a little bit, it just was.
Our lockdown in our house
we
is
just do something
expanding a
wrong?
bit. Like,
Sorry.
the circles are like opening up a little bit more. Like, some of the close friends are like kind of coming over every once in a while now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like only like these certain people that we know close have like kind of come in and hung out. I've noticed it seems like people are trying, like they're getting antsy, you know?
Yeah, JC's been coming over slightly more often, but a couple things have happened over the last few weeks after we did that kind of changed paradigm a little bit. Prior to that, I was working with susceptible people, dialysis patients specifically, every day, and I was out and about, and then, well, how do I put it? I had a massive fucking heart attack at 40 years old, and I weigh about 150 pounds, so it just kind of came out of nowhere, and now I'm going to be spending a lot of time at home, and I'm not going to be around susceptible people, and I'm not going to be out in the world as much, but I'm also like, slightly more susceptible myself, so it's just really strange.
You sure it wasn't the common cold?
It might have been COVID. I think they mentioned COVID.
Wait, did you get vaccinated
I was dying,
recently?
and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna mark him down as COVID because then we get the big bucks." I heard them say that. I really did. Yeah.
I think Tyler is working with the Democratic committee to. This is definitely a liberal hoax. I think we are looking at a crisis actor in our midst. That's what we have.
Right. Liberal propaganda.
Heart attacks aren't real.
No.
That's been pushed on us for years by the globalists. Parentheses.
Right. Uh-huh.
Fucking Tyler
I mean-
Wasserman Schultz. I know what you did. Seth Rich told me.
Oh shit.
Okay, JC Ailes. But seriously, it's just really eye-opening that I had a heart attack and Sean Hannity is still alive. So
It's unfair.
yeah, it's the world is topsy-turvy sometimes.
You are proof positive that the world is a cruel, heartless place. You, Tyler, having a heart attack at the age of 40, and knowing that, say, Tucker Carlson is making millions of dollars on his white nationalist TV show. Oh, hello, Dave Smith.
Well, it's actually amusing because for all the bad, we actually talked about this, I think, for a little bit on a previous episode. Like, there's, Corey found a study that showed, like, Tucker Carlson was, like, one of the few people on Fox News that took COVID seriously.
Yeah.
Well, like, Hannity's, like, they were night and day. Like, these people went and studied, like, what does Hannity say, and then what does Carlson say about COVID-19, about the exact same what the doctors say and all this stuff. And, Hannity is just like a made up Democrat, blah, 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 blah. And, a hoax and all this. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson's like, this shit's real. Like,
he warned about it way earlier.
Let's be responsible in our lives and responsible in our government duties and all this stuff. Like, was really. I mean, I've seen him be reasonable about a lot of things in the past too.
Like a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right.
He wears that bow tie so that he can social distance from his belt.
Well, it seems like a lot of white nationalists were on board with accepting COVID as fact. Richard Spencer was all over talking about...
That was strange.
Very strange. I kept tweeting at him going, "Oh, Dickie, you're so wrong about everything, but on this, you're right. Now stop being a racist piece of shit and we'll be okay."
Well, they get to blame it on China.
The
Chinese plague. The Chinese plague.
Meanwhile, Jeffrey Tucker seems to have just
idiot.
Whatever brains he did have seems to have fallen out of his bourbon beleaguered dickhole. Because, suddenly his arguments are, well, if COVID, then why sandwiches?
Yeah, I mean...
Foolproof logic. What do you mean? I don't see a single flaw.
Well, the bow tie union only allows one half smart statement per month.
Oh, is that in the union rules? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, let's not get into bow ties. There are a lot of very nice people that wear bow ties. I mean,
certainly.
Bill Nye, the bow tie guy.
I mean,
that's it, right?
They're less nice because they wear bow ties.
Yeah, this is true. Well, it's kind of like cops, okay? Once they put the uniform on, well, then they're a bastard.
Exactly.
Sort of like bow ties.
How goddamn nice you are, dude.
Right, exactly. So like a bow tie, a guy, hey, Bobby, how you doing? Next day you see him, he's like, oh, fuck you, Bobby, you got your bow tie on. You're no friend of mine. Probably a white nationalist piece of shit.
Cops should be forced to wear suspenders.
Agreed.
Technically, he could be a black nationalist or an Islamic nationalist, but I mean...
That is true.
Usually, they're just really nerdy libertarians who can't see the forest for the trees, but...
And dance to backwards at conferences.
That was moshing. That was moshing. That wasn't...
That was not moshing. Do not call that moshing, sir.
It was a jitterbug at best.
Jitterbug at best.
It was a bunch of debate club dorks spinning in a circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That
Sounds
was
like a
swing
party to
dancing
me.
if you've never heard music before.
Well, they don't have souls. What do you expect?
It's soul free.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, yep. That's about all I can do before he starts singing, and it's badass after that. Y'all go listen to Rusty Cage.
What's that, Grandpa?
We're back. I'm not out of breath because I've mostly quit smoking, but I'm mostly out of breath too because I smoked for 20-something years. So. All right, what do we got? What do we got now? What do we got? Oh. Well, I thought we'd get a little weird with this. Everybody wants their free ponies, but I also want free Tonys. And we'll hit the Corey Horgan intro music right here. No, we won't. There's no intro music for free Tonys. It's ridiculous.
We'll make
All right.
something. We can whip something up.
This kind of occurred to me because I saw that Tony Hawk's record got broken. His multi-decade long 900 record got broken by an 11-year-old on a regular old half pipe. A little kid did a 1080.
Wow.
This was a few weeks back.
So that is a certain number of rotations.
That
in
is
mid-air?
3 full rotations, right?
It's the degree, how many degrees of rotation happen.
Yeah. 1080 is
crazy.
1080 degrees. So 3 360s in midair and land it. So
Amazing.
Damn.
apparently he's the first person to have done that, like with a camera rolling. And
11 years old?
11 years old.
I can't even
he nails
imagine.
it.
I feel like a kid is the type of, elastic person to do some shit like that.
Well,
You
y'all
know?
we could watch it. Video's not great on here, obviously, but we could see it and see if you can see it.
I'll be sure and say,
Wow, that's
"Holy
loud.
shit, he just did it." Oh man, that's amazing.
He almost
that's
beefs it. He almost.
It's a
fucking
little
yells
sloppy, but he
does.
just saves
He
it
almost
at the
bailed,
end.
but
That's crazy shit.
that's some centrifugal force right there.
Yeah, that's incredible. 11 years old, able to do that. I myself have never ridden a skateboard. I was way too uncoordinated for that. To let you
I
all
found
know,
skateboarding,
when I was
actually.
in first grade, I played t-ball. And by played t-ball, I mean I demanded that I get a cool-looking pair of black cleats, go to the first day. My feet got hot in the outfield, made the coach call my mom, and I never went back again. I was also what you'd call a husky kid, and wasn't exactly fit for the old skateboard. So watching an 11-year-old be able to do that and take down the master Tony Hawk, that's really something to see.
Yeah, my feet and my brain don't really know each other all that well.
They're so far away.
Skateboarding
Right.
is something
So-
else. It's actually I find it very tricky.
Roller skates, roller blades, skateboards.
Rollerblades are fun.
Yeah,
Slowing down on that can be tricky.
Do I?
If you can't do like the skid slow down on rollerblades, that can be if you don't have a patch of grass to bail in, that can be dangerous.
I've never had to slow down on a pair of rollerblades.
You never got
I never got going
hill,
at speed.
a hill going down that you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh, okay, now what? And then you're like, all right, it's into the grass I go.
I probably spent 6 months trying to do an ollie, and
That's honestly, if I'm being honest, that's the best I can do on a skateboard. I'm ashamed to admit it.
I'm like, what are y'all doing? I'm sitting there watching their feet, like,
It's tricky.
okay, I can do this. No,
When they
no, I
start
can't do
rotating the
I
board,
can't even
and
roll
getting
on
back
a
it,
skateboard.
that
I must have
shit's
had
hard.
like 3 skateboards as a child and never
No.
could do anything with them. I could sit on them really well.
Right.
Really, really well.
I could carry them around and look cool, like with my pal Peralta and my grip tape. Yeah, man.
Use it
sit
to,
on that
like,
thing and play
move
Legend
things.
of Zelda on Nintendo 64.
Right. They make a really, yeah. I mean, just ride them down a hill and then carry it back. And then,
That's what I did. It was like sledding.
yeah. It's a sled. It's not a
Sledding.
Yeah,
Now that's some shit. That's some serious shit. That's some fun shit right there.
I miss sledding where I lived.
Haven't
And my
been
mom
able to
still
do that
lives
in a
there.
minute.
Huge hill. And we would, get the inner tubes out, slick the bottoms up, go down that hill, build ramps, all kinds of the
It's
crazy
all about
things.
the ramps. Get some air. Mm-hmm. And then
That was
fall
always the
on the
goal.
snow like an idiot. And
Oh
say,
yeah,
"Haha,
yeah.
did
You
guys
have to have
see me wipe
snow
out?"
for that, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, we got lots
One
of snow
day
when I was a
nobody
kid in
will.
Kansas.
Oh man, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, especially like it was literally like the day or so, the same week or whatever that they announced Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 were getting like
Thrown in the garbage.
revamped or what? What?
Oh, okay.
We're
Sorry,
not
wishful thinking.
sacrilегing freaking THPS 1 and 2.
I liked Dave Mira BMX. That was my PlayStation.
Oh my god!
I know.
What the hell? You like the
Motocross.
THX Sports Series too, don't you? Wait, that might be way out of date.
Oh man, I'll never forget. I figured out how to lock the grinding on Tony Hawk, so he'd keep going around this circular thing, and I would turn my TV off and come back hours later, and he's still doing it.
And like physics doesn't matter; that you just get going faster when you grind for some reason.
Grind across the fucking telephone line. Like a squirrel.
To freaking Ace of Spades, man.
Oh, man. Can I download that on my Xbox One? Can I play that shit again? Probably.
Well, apparently, like later this year, you're gonna get like a redone version of it. So
yeah, look at that.
That'll be cool.
You could play a little kid and make Tony Hawk look like an amateur.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the little kids game? I'd rather play that.
The new generation.
Seriously.
But yeah, so I'm sitting there like, okay, how are we going to talk about Tony Hawk and his record getting broken on the show? I'm like, well, free Tonys, because rhyming is fun. Because, you know, I'm really basic like that. And, but yeah, so I'm sitting here thinking about Tony Hawk, and then like just my mind wanders to other Tonys and all this. And like Tony Scott, like I thought we could talk a little bit about him. I know it wasn't like a household name, but it's like he was a huge director, huge. And I mean, you probably know his brother is Ridley Scott, you know, Aliens and whatever the hell else.
Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me some coke. But yeah, so, you know, this guy had done huge movies. And in August of 2012, he threw himself off of a bridge in LA.
Oh, what?
Why?
Damn. Did he think the
Nobody
world was gonna
knows. Like,
So you trying to beat
initially,
Tony
they
Hawk's
said
record?
that, well, the initial understanding was that he was, you know, had some terminal cancer or something. But the LA coroner said that he had nothing, like no cancer. And then, but his family's like, no, he's been battling terminal cancer for a long time. Like, so there's this weird, like, who, you know, who's telling the truth here and who's incompetent, or is his family just trying to save face for him and or whatever?
Do we find out
maybe
after all these years that the cure for cancer is throwing yourself off a bridge?
Yeah. That would appear to be the case, that hitting water at high speed velocities, terminal velocities, one might say, will just knock cancer right out of you.
I think you're onto $1 billion idea here. Okay, here's the plan. I become a televangelist. All of us go in on this together. That's what we start marketing and pushing to get all the money in. Perfect. We're going to be billionaires.
Maybe riot cops have just been trying to cure cancer all along, right?
That's true. Good point. Their intentions were good.
If Jim Baker can sell like COVID-19 proof water, surely we can sell a bridge.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. There's Miracle Spring Water out there with that Popov. Old P.D. Popov. It's problematic. It's very problematic. It is fraud.
He's saying in the video, I've seen these fucking things on Comedy Central late at night or whatever the hell. I mean, right before the callsexybabes.com or whatever the hell. And
which Smiling Bob.
It's literally, here's ugly fat Joe and his miracle spring water. It will cure you. He's literally saying this stuff. It will cure anything you have.
I'm Peter Popov. Yeah, but I think the wording is just off enough to where it's... And he's not selling anything, because if you notice in the commercials, it's a really weird thing. And yeah, I mean, that's something that needs to be looked at, because it's bizarre how they can get away with this.
I don't care. Legality doesn't matter to me, but morality of...
Sure.
I don't give a fuck. Like, dude, you could play, you know, reruns of Dave Chappelle, and you're choosing to play, you know, this stupid fucking commercial.
Money, man. Money. I'm sure the broadcasters that have those commercials on make buku bucks from his corporation. Guaranteed.
It's not.
He is the root of all
sure it's
evil.
not that much, but it's, and that's what I'm saying. They're selling their souls for
Sure they are. Sure.
few $1,000
Absolutely.
at that time slot at that night for a 15-second commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's not much money to be made in that. You're right. It's just bullshit. But it's just amazing to me that even the general population continues to go in for that. And that's what's really troubling to me.
Horrifying.
Yeah, how someone can be so outright snaky and sleazy and still make the money on people. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's the Florida and the drinking water, guys.
Or maybe it works and we're all just fucking idiots.
Yeah, could be. Ooh, yeah. Do you think
We're
that
the
miracle-
stupid ones for not ordering the free miracle spring water.
This is true. Do you think it's fluoridated? Maybe that's the secret. Extra fluoridation.
Yeah. Maybe it's got his jizz in it.
With just a touch of chemtrail jizz.
It all makes sense now.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. But yeah, I mean,
Francisco tree.
it's just weird that like this guy pops into my head all the time. Like this, I don't want to say to be a Hollywood director, you have to probably have your shit together, but I would think so for the most part. I mean, you know, outside of Roman Polanski's and all this stuff.
Oh,
Quentin Tarantino.
And, you know, I mean, Polanski said he didn't know she was 14. So, I don't know.
How
libertarian-
That's a
How libertarian
70 show
of it.
guy?
Okay, Arvin.
Oh, shit.
Well, again, all he had to do was like get on a plane and go to a place where like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, you know, fucking string him up and then like he just like went over a puddle.
he really thought that the Valley of the Dolls was going to have more staying power. Or did he do Valley of the Dolls?
No.
Oh, no, but Sharon Tate was in it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I was wrong, but I was slightly less wrong.
Slightly less wrong is always the good place to be.
Yes. It's very obvious why you made that mistake.
Yeah.
Tyler, the thing
Polanski
is, like,
was Rosemary's Baby is probably his most
Chinatown.
famous movie.
Yeah. I believe Chinatown too, right? Yeah.
Kitty cat.
but see, Tyler, like you're saying that someone has to have their shit together to be a Hollywood director, but in a lot of cases, especially in these like super high level careers and jobs, it's actually the people that have their shit together are less likely to be there because they're less likely to do what it takes to get to that level.
Yeah, like when's Michael Bay going to get his shit together?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at the list and then we'll figure this out. So, for all us old school freaks and geeks, Tony
Guilty.
Scott directed The Hunger, starring the one and only David Bowie, R.I.P.
Right.
Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, The Last Boy Scout, True Romance, The Fan, Enemy of the State, Man on Fire. He did a lot of
He did the
Denzel
fan, huh?
movies. Deja Vu. He ran out of steam a little bit here. The Taking of Pelham 123 is not a bad movie. And then he threw himself off a bridge. I mean, there were more in there, but those are the big ones. Crimson Tide, I didn't even mention. Those are huge movies. I don't know if True Romance was a huge movie, but it's
I like that movie.
huge cult classic movie, right? The Last Boy Scout, same thing. Maybe it was fairly big back then.
It was, yeah. I remember it being. I remember watching it on the VHS.
I loved that movie. We had it on Laserdisc.
Nice.
That's kind of how I was about the fan. I loved the fan when I was
The
a
Fan
kid.
is really good, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
no,
way
those are
too
some-
young to be watching the fan, but it was great.
But I mean, these are, some of these are huge movies. Some of them are big movies, and then there's Domino, which I guess
Wait, he did Domino?
Yeah.
I love Domino, though. I don't give a shit. I balls out for Domino, man.
I'm not gonna suggest you or subject you to the Rotten Tomatoes Domino.
Oh my gosh. Not Rotten Tomatoes. You know I make all of my decisions by committee.
Oh, he did the A-Team remake. Wow.
Oh, okay. Now you're right. That was a piece of...
It's always fun watching like all these different media things where you'll have like sites like Rotten Tomatoes where it's the paid reviewers and then there's the audience reviewers, and the paid reviewers are all just rave reviews. Oh, it's amazing. We're just thought it was amazing. Then the audience one's like, this is a piece of crap. You can tell where their marketing budget went.
There's something like that going on right now with The Last of Us 2 dropped yesterday. But I'm not... These days, you can't tell anymore if it's because Gamergate, right? And everything since then, there's this big fracture. And the fracture is almost entirely right-wing anti-SJW stuff, right? And then there's like the few in video gaming that are like, no, we need, new and different and inclusive and blah, blah, blah. Which is why I'm in board gaming more. Like, it's not super inclusive as a hobby, but as an industry, it's continually attempting to get more and more and more inclusive. You can't force people to get into the hobby, but it's definitely growing in those other sectors.
I mean, you can't force people to buy your card game.
Well, see, like with like The Last Jedi, within the most recent Star Wars tentpole franchise, like a lot of the right wing hardcore were like, "Oh, we don't like it. It's SJW nonsense."
Right.
Like, I was a little disappointed by it, but like my disappointment comes from like the fact that they did a hyperspace jump as a weapon, and like Star Wars canon says that's not supposed to happen. Or like, I like how
it was a super massive capital ship, so it's not like it was an X-wing. But
sometimes you just have to drop bombs on a ship that's below you in space.
Yeah, like that kind of didn't really make a lot of sense. And so like mine was mostly about like the storyline. I didn't really care for some of the holes in the storyline, but like, and also the fact that it didn't really fit with the entire trilogy, especially in hindsight. But I don't care about, like, it's good that Star Wars is getting more inclusive. It's good that they're bringing in, kind of going from the Force being Taoism for dummies to being like, okay, now you kind of know a little bit more about Taoism. It's not just light side good, dark side bad. I thought that was great.
I loved Nihilist Yoda. It was awesome. Yeah. He's like, burn it down, motherfucker. Who gives a shit?
You mentioned the inclusivity there. It was amazing to me as a little kid in '82 seeing Empire Strikes Back with a black man, Lando Calrissian. I said to my mom, and I don't know if this is a cute story or if this is a story just showing how ingrained like white supremacy is in, culture. I said to my mom, can we adopt a brother? And she said, okay, just going along with me. And I said, but he has to be black so he can be Lando when we play Star Wars.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. Kids think things in interesting ways. It doesn't sound like ingrained race. It's just you as a kid.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's, I think it's really cool. And that's my point. Like, I think it's really cool that was an exposure for me to, the African-American community, which I wasn't exposed to as a kid. So, no, I love seeing those changes, but you're right. It's the storyline and so on that I don't enjoy.
Well, yeah, and like a lot of, as a major Star Wars nerd, like some of the stuff that I was noticing people bitching about, like Finn being black, They said, but all the stormtroopers were clones. And I'm like, whoa. No, the clone troopers program was disbanded after the Clone Wars, like pretty quickly afterwards. And the First Order was like stealing kids from like Outer Rim and like wild space families. So it's very real that you could have people of all races, as stormtroopers for the First Order. Like, they're just wrong. Like the people that were bitching about it, about the things about like inclusivity, like they're just not right on Star Wars canon. They just don't know anything.
Right.
Perfect point. Yes.
Well, yeah, the Empire is not racist towards skin color. They're racist towards
aliens.
They're speciesist, right?
Yeah.
So, you weren't. I mean, we didn't ever see a stormtrooper take their helmet off and they're like Mon Calamari, right? Or Mon Cal, right? They're like
an Ewok.
Right. They were. Yeah. Right.
They certainly weren't Ewoks.
Right. So, that's all. Yeah, it all falls well within everything. It's just, but I don't know. That's the thing. Like, Gamergate exposed them, and then they were emboldened because they are a greater majority and the industry is trying desperately to fight it. And so geek culture, gamer culture, board gamer culture, whatever, like they're really, really striving to change that to be more inclusive, because why is gaming all white dudes? Right? Why is board gaming all white dudes? Why is geek culture all white dudes for the most part? I mean, yeah, geek culture overall probably is slightly more inclusive just because people are going to be drawn to what they're drawn to no matter what. Sure. So, bronies or whatever, there's less places to be uninclusive there, right?
Like, why hasn't there been a black Sinistar? Have you ever played Joust?
Yeah. Wasn't Destro black?
I believe Destro was black. You're talking about Destro from G.I. Joe. Yeah. Yes, I think he was when we finally got to see his face exposed.
Of course he was a black guy. I mean, he was a bad guy, of course.
Right.
It's the 80s.
Well, Cobra seemed pretty
We're very
inclusive.
80s-centric on this episode, I think. We're just going to have to call it We Go Back to the 80s. I want to play a game real quick because you're getting we are not a geek podcast. We could be if y'all want to just switch our format. That's fine. Let's play a game.
Yay!
And
I like games.
We're gonna go with Corey, just hush for a second. Has Corey Horgan seen Top Gun? So we're just
Oh, that's a
yes
good
or
one.
no, up or down answer.
I'm gonna say yes.
All right.
I'm gonna say no.
Brian says yes. Clayton says no. Brett, what do you got?
I would say yes.
Brett's got yes.
I'd say yes as well.
We got 3 yeses and a no. Okay. Shit. I did
everybody
not
cast?
clarify not last year's remake. The original Top Gun.
I had the original in mind, so
Okay.
I did too. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a remake, to be honest with you.
Thank goodness.
I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say I hope that it's no, because then I won't be the only one who's never seen Top Gun.
You're not missing much.
Well,
I don't like
Don't
Tom
ruin the
Cruise.
game. We could have taken this game a little further if that's
So is everybody?
because Clayton's
is
literally
recast?
like 2 years older than Corey, or 3 years, something like that. All right. So I'm gonna say no as well. So we got what? 3 no's,
That's
3
everybody?
yeses.
All right. Well, those who guessed yes, I appreciate the benefit of the doubt, as I've been watching quite a few classics in this quarantine time. Just finished watching Total Recall.
Nice.
Yeah.
A bunch of these
Girl,
old
you make me
movies.
wish I had 3 hands.
But I have not seen Top Gun.
The build up, and then we just got body slammed. I was all happy.
I felt that. I felt the burning in my neck.
I feel
Like that
so
movie
close
is
to you.
part of the reason that Brian is androgynous. Like that whole volleyball scene, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a very famous scene. I know about that one. At least.
My favorite part of Tom Cruise movies are the camera angles that they use to make him look taller than his female co-star.
You are so right.
It's so fucking true. It is.
Oh,
Stand on a box.
Well, they use apple boxes on movie
Yeah, let
sets.
me get a half apple.
In the 80s, that was even harder because Kelly McGillis's hair is probably another 4 or 5 inches.
You're right. That was a challenge for them.
Rebecca De Mornay, I think they just let her be taller than him
Yeah, I think
in
you're
Risky
right.
Business. Yeah.
Ooh, Rebecca De
Like, because he
Mornay.
was, he's supposed to be a teenager.
That brings back
I think he was.
pleasant memories.
Yes, very pleasant memories.
Oh, boy, what we thought was hot back then is
Yeah, I know, right?
Still.
Good Lord. I mean, I'm of the generation of is moving the little button on the cable box, just trying to unscramble that Cinemax for one little shot of a titty.
Just get that one semi-clear line just a little bit lower.
Yes. It's like, oh God, I'm so close. I'm so close. And you could never get enough, so I'd have to go grab the J.C. Penney's catalog.
Oh, yes. The bras.
Come
That
on,
underwear
man.
section. That underwear section, though, man.
Oh, it was
What year did
hot.
Victoria's Secret come out?
That was in the 80s, too, but...
Yeah,
Look,
I had that. Fredericks of Hollywood, for some reason, was coming to my house.
My mom was
some-
not shopping at Victoria's Secret, but she did buy my Christmas toys from the JCPenney catalog. So
Right.
Yep.
got to get in where I
Man.
fit in.
Crazy growing up in such a
Y'all didn't
drought.
have internet?
Kids my age had non-stop, unlimited access.
Yeah, right.
Coming up with the internet, it's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah, just click a box say that you're 18.
It was
I don't even think they put that there anymore.
I feel like some of y'all got robbed a little bit. Like, obviously you've got porn on demand since you were 4.
Oh yeah, you'd be shocked and appalled at what some of the kids in middle school played on their phone at recess.
Jesus Christ.
It's
We had to
crazy.
work
It's
for
crazy.
I'm not going to be the morality police here, but at the very least, you got robbed of some things. Like I don't know if it was my awakening because I had weird.
Your
shit when I was a
wankening?
kid. My awakening.
the awakening.
But Vendela on the cover of Sports Illustrated was
yeah.
that was the first time I experienced love. True love. And I feel bad for some kids that don't have that unless you felt that for what's her name?
God, I feel.
I was gonna pull a porn star
such a
out. No,
nerd.
I'm blanking on porn star names. If you can
Oh,
fucking
no.
believe that, I don't even know. how
Jenna
that's possible.
Jameson. She was...
I think he was 2 the last time she was relevant.
Genteel.
God,
I was gonna say Jenna Hayes, maybe. Yeah.
That now
might
we're
have been in his
talking.
wheelhouse. Yeah.
Now we're talking.
But I think I know exactly what you're getting at, Tyler, and there was a little bit of truth to what I said. We had to work for our porn. There were like odd ways that we got porn. I had neighbor kids that were older than me. I remember getting the sack of Hustlers. God knows how many other man's semen had been spilled on those pages as my tiny little hand, I should say, gripped the magazine while my other hand was busy.
Right.
But
Meanwhile, this is when they didn't show Hustler, I think, always did.
Yeah,
but,
Hustler
always
showed
showed it.
everything.
But they showed everything, but they didn't show penetration.
No penetration. You had to. Even Swank didn't have penetration either.
Nothing did back then.
Not until sometime in the 90s.
Yeah, I would be
think.
surprised.
No, probably the 2000s.
2000s? Maybe it was 2000s, yeah. I worked
Well,
at a
let's.
worked at a porn store.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
I'd always thought that would be kind of a fun gig for a while.
In Austin, right off Guadalupe in Austin, Texas.
Nice.
It's one of the
Oh,
it is
wow.
one of the best places ever. It's probably still there. I'm almost sure. And boy, the clientele between the UT students, the visiting businessmen, the degenerates like me, just coming, people bringing in crack and getting high in the fucking booth. Just the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life, man.
That sounds
Seriously.
fun,
Hey,
though.
man, don't out.
That sounds like a fun gig.
Yeah. Team building.
Did you have to wear a name tag?
I did not. I did not. Needless to say, I didn't do a lot of work, and I tried not to go back to the rooms. But once somehow something bad would happen, I have to go back there, and it was just, just
All right, let's
imagine
play
it.
another game.
Yeah.
Has Corey
imagine.
Horrigan ever seen a Hustler, like an actual physical copy of Hustler magazine?
God damn, man.
I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say no.
No.
3 no's so far.
I'm gonna say yes and happily be wrong.
Okay.
I got your back, bro.
I'm going to say no, but he's probably seen plenty by other names other than Hustler.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Ebony.
I'm gonna go with
Yes.
yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
Wow.
We don't know if you have older siblings or not, so I'm gonna go with yes.
Is that the jury's out?
It's I think we're tied again. 3 no's, 3 yeses.
What kind of degenerate are you, Corey?
Once again, we've got to know.
Oh my god.
See, I knew it. He's a Fisters Weekly man.
I found my parents' copy of Backdoor Sluts 9.
Yeah, on DVD or Blu-ray.
It was in the Lord of the Rings case.
It was VHS.
That's the South Park. That's like the South Park skit.
Yeah, that's that.
Why wouldn't they put it in the Steel Magnolias case or something where you're not gonna look? Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, but I grew up with the internet.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But,
you've had a smorgasbord of porn for your entire life.
Yeah. It didn't used to be that
Yeah,
easy back in my day, kid.
You
Yeah,
get
I mean,
misdirected.
seriously, back in our day, it was just
Okay,
different.
boomer.
My story originated with watching magic tricks on YouTube, and they said, go to this website and find some more magic tricks.
Oh shit.
And my, little kid motherfucking going to this website, and I said, this is strange. That's not magic at all.
Oh, but it's like magic tricks. I said some of the things I've seen is like a magic show on some of the porn sites.
Yep.
Making some things
Disappearing
disappear.
So, speaking of things that go forcefully into other things, Killdozer anniversary was recent. I think Clayton wanted to talk about that a little bit.
I actually really did. I am a big fan of Killdozer, Marvin Hiermeyer. Pour one out for the homies. And every year on June 4th, I like to make a special post to kind of tell the tale of Marvin Hiermeyer, keep his legacy alive. So, and if y'all give me a second, I'd like to read this out to you to kind of spread the message and the good word of a reasonable man pushed to do unreasonable things.
As long as you do it in iambic pentameter.
Absolutely.
I went to public school, so I don't know what that is.
10 syllables per line.
Well, sit down, kids, and let me tell you a tale about a reasonable man driven to do unreasonable things. Marvin Hiermeyer was a man who owned a muffler shop in Granbury, Colorado. The city council ordained to approve the construction of a concrete factory in the lot across from Marvin's shop. In the process, this blocked the only access road to the muffler shop. Marvin petitioned to stop the construction, to no avail. Petitioned to construct a new access road and even bought the heavy machinery to do so himself. Denied. The concrete factory went up in disregard to the ramifications on Marvin's business. To add insult to injury, the factory construction disconnected the muffler shop from the city's sewage lines. An indifferent city government then chose to fine Marvin for this. His business and livelihood were in ruin. Rather than lie down and die, Marvin chose to fight back. Over the course of a year and a half, Marvin secretly outfitted the bulldozer he bought to save his business with 3-foot thick steel and concrete armor. camera systems guarded with bulletproof glass. On June 4th, 2004, Marvin Hiermeyer lowered the armored shell over top of himself, entombing himself inside the Killdozer to make his last stand. He burst forth from the walls of his muffler shop and straight into the concrete factory that ruined his business. Over the course of the next several hours, Marvin drove his Killdozer through 13 buildings, owned by those officials that had wronged him, including the city council building itself. SWAT teams swarmed the dozer, but it proved immune to small arms fire, and even explosives. Another piece of heavy machinery was even brought out to fight the Killdozer, but it too fell to the dozer's righteous fury. In the end, Marvin's Killdozer became trapped in one of the buildings it was built to destroy. Marvin chose to take his life, the only life he took that day. And so we celebrate Killdozer Day and Marvin Hiermeyer, the last great American folk hero. A man driven to the brink who chose to fight back against an indifferent system. And from the notes left behind after his passing, quote, I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. With that, we remember Marvin Hiermeyer, an American hero. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
Moment of silence. Moment of silence.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you.
Kaboom!
Kaboom.
Though, he's not the last great American folk hero. There was one, actually a couple after that. Andrew Joseph Stack was another great American hero. And then Christopher Dorner, who was the most recent true American hero.
Oh, man.
Dicks out for Dorner.
Dicks out for Dorner.
Dicks out for Dorner.
You can't corner the Dorner.
Nope.
Apparently you can.
Yeah.
People can look that up on their own. I don't feel like talking about Dorner, but
how do we get Killdozers to Black Lives Matter?
I think we have. I mean, you can pretty much find heavy construction machinery in most major cities.
Mm-hmm.
Left around, kind of like mysterious,
completely unguarded too.
Yeah.
They're right next to the inconspicuous piles of bricks.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
They
god!
just
What
happened to
person
show
who-
up.
Okay, I saw the pictures of piles of bricks in downtown Dallas, and I'm like, have you never been to downtown Dallas? There are constantly piles of bricks in downtown Dallas. I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about.
Well,
Like,
I don't know
it's
about Dallas.
We tear down everything old and build new things. That's what
Right,
we
but
do. And they're like
be damned.
120-year-old bricks just laying around all the time that people could just walk off with. And
I've got two from the original, like the first layer of brick that they put down on Elm Street. Whenever they tore up the street, I grabbed one of those suckers, man.
on Main Street,
On Elm Street.
they put bricks on. No.
Yeah, way down, like probably 3 feet down.
Oh, right.
The first layer of brick.
Wow.
Those suckers were old. No markings, solid too.
Holy shit.
They don't make them like they used to.
I'm saving them for the post office.
Riot. It's a good story. I mean, you know, it's
I like Vermin style.
very business white guy centric, but it's also a really good story.
Just like all folk tales in America.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, Paul Bunyan, whatever the
John
fuck,
Henry.
Well, the ox was blue.
True. I don't care if you're purple or pink or blue, like that ox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Appleseed planted the trees. They weren't here because those dirty engines had cut them all down.
Oh.
Yeah. Y'all didn't know that.
Did Trump
I thought-
say that in his
Wait,
speech?
Paul Bunyan had a big axe, and he was cutting down like thousands of trees at a time. So, I don't know. I can't keep these stories straight anymore.
The mythology.
Pecos Bill.
American mythology.
Pecos Bill. I think he wrestled all the Mexicans back across the border or something.
Oh, that was
Lassoed. Yeah.
Davy Crockett. That was after he killed him a bar when he was only 3.
King of the Wild Frontier.
Right.
And don't forget the story of Little Black Sambo.
What?
One of the only like stories I remember from my childhood featuring a black character, and it was just all racist stereotypes to the point where they open up the pancake restaurant and call it Sambo's. Where are we going after church today? We're going to Little Black Sambo's.
Yeah, there were several books about. Oh man,
It's like they're changing the Aunt Jemima logo for reasons
but
like that.
racism isn't institutionalized.
Right, exactly.
See, the story that I remember, the folk story I remember hearing about black people was John Henry. And that was just Luddite propaganda.
Building he built the railroads or something?
Yeah.
Steel
And, like,
driving man.
He like was paired up against some like steam powered.
Oh
Nut Rail, and he just
beat
like
the locomotive or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the train was coming down the tracks and he.
Oh no! It was like they're like, oh, we're gonna pair you all up against and see who can dig through the mountain, and he beats the steam drill, like trying to like dig a whole tunnel through a mountain.
Why?
Because
what's the purpose
Luddites.
of this contest?
Because Luddites showing that you can't have machines because people will always beat machines.
Well, the orcs used machines, so
Yeah,
The orcs. Forgot about that.
Yeah,
Well-
I've never thought of it in that context at all, but that's an interesting way to look at it.
It makes sense. We're talking about unreasonable things and what lengths people will go to. I mean, yeah, that's what America is, just nothing but made up.
It really is. A lot of folk tales that aren't based in reality at all, just to keep us all good little cogs in the machine. I think back on my education in my elementary years and just the bullshit that was forced down my throat. This vanilla version of history.
Yeah. 2 + 2 = fuck you, man.
I seceded in 8th grade,
they never told us anything about Juneteenth when I was in school. Like
Never.
I just found out, in the last couple of years that it's 2 years after the slaves were freed and they finally found out about it.
Yep, in Texas.
That's government
And
inaction
that's
right there.
specifically Texan. Yeah.
Yep.
But see, like I remember hearing about that because like it's from Galveston, and Galveston is essentially just a suburb of Houston now.
I agree. Just like there's so much outrage over, they tore down a statue of Washington. How can they do that? Because you're still buying into the bullshit lies you were fed in elementary school. Get over yourself. Let's burn every institution down.
I think Clayton posted that meme. What is it? The last statue or the last monument that needs to get torn down, and it was Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, all about that.
Yeah.
Or the last racist monument that needs to get torn down. Something.
It's a white supremacy monument. It cannot be disputed.
No. The one I did was replace all the Confederate statues with the beaver outside Buc-ee's. The real son of a hero.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
But
Ish.
Buc-ee's is 1, Southern, 2, Texan, 3. That means that beaver is somehow racist. I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, they do pay all of their employees $15 an hour starting out.
16.
16? Oh, shit.
Damn.
Changes everything.
They pay like the maintenance crews like $42,000 a year. Or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Buc-ee's pays really, really freaking well.
That's great.
And it's
What place?
absurd because these things are 40,000 square feet and there are like 10 things in them. There's no reason for them. Like, they didn't have to do anything for COVID protections because literally you could walk through the aisles in these places without bumping into, like, you can walk down the middle of an aisle of a Buc-ee's and not be able to read the prices on the things on either side of you.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's the
they're
Walmart
big
Super
just
Center
to
of gas
call
stations.
it. They're big just to call themselves big, It's not like it's wall-to-wall convenience store. It's like they took a couple of convenience stores and packed them very sparsely into a 40,000 square foot fucking building.
People in Texas do their Christmas shopping at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Well, you can get, your wolf fucking throw or whatever the fuck. Wolf lightning bolt throw.
Do they have the matching T-shirt?
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
but
They
you probably
definitely
have to
do.
rip the sleeves off yourself.
All of the turquoise jewelry that your heart could desire.
Now, your basketball shorts, you would have to go elsewhere for, Brian.
Oh, that's all right. I'm loyal to the Walmart brand. At $6.88 a pair, you just can't go wrong.
All right, we're back. And we're going to talk about, is Trump a Nazi? I don't know. Let's find out. What could that upside down triangle be outside of an allusion to Nazi symbolism? I'm going to give us 5 minutes on the clock. We're going to go fucking round robin until we figure out just exactly what that could possibly have been. And everybody got something?
Yes, ready.
You ready? I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
And go, Brian.
The body of a little stick girl, like it's a stick drawing.
Brett.
Anti-Illuminati. I don't know.
Anti-Illuminati.
Clayton.
Clifford the Big Red Dog's red hairy taint.
JC.
It's a representation of what the Dow Jones has done over the last 6 months.
Corey.
I think it's covering up an embarrassing Christmas party photo.
Brian.
It's don't turn around, don't drown for the local Department of Transportation.
Brett. Oh, you're muted. Hurry.
Bottom of some people's logo.
Bottom of some
Clayton.
people's logo.
All right, so it is the arrow pointing down to the south, leading to his good friend Jeffrey Epstein's pedo island.
Nice. JC.
It's an anti-gay symbol of the Nazis for the colorblind.
Corey.
Maybe it is the Illuminati.
There you go.
I think it was supposed to be orange because it's a representation of Trump's perfect male physique.
Oh, now you're on to something.
Brian.
I don't know, a Nazi symbol. That's all it fucking is. There's no beating around the bush. I mean, look, they took out 88 ads, and I know that there was talk that there were 14 words too. I don't know. I know that in the one ad that I did read, there were 14 words in the first line. My understanding is all the ads were very similar. It seemed like an elaborate troll to me, is what it seemed like. Because then they did other ads and used like stop signs and other more common symbols for deniability reasons. So I think it was an elaborate troll. I think they were all in on it. And to answer your question directly, yes, he's a fucking Nazi. But he's too stupid to be a good Nazi.
Good answer. Brett.
I thought it was just a dyslexic compass arrow.
Clayton.
You know, sometimes a red triangle is just a red triangle. Just kidding, it's a Nazi symbol.
JC.
It's a representation of the underwear that Stormy Daniels was wearing the night that he embarrassed himself.
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
Maybe it's a Dorito.
Fire nacho, yeah. I'm thinking it's a yeah, I think that Trump wears a red-headed merkin, and that's a representation of his merkin. And then Brian.
Nazi symbol.
Okay, yeah, that too, yeah. Minute and a half, let's go. Brett.
Fuck if I know.
All right, Clayton.
Hi, it's a spot in the back of his tidy whities where his hemorrhoid blood comes through.
Oh shit, that's dark. I love it.
So that's the blood coming from his hemorrhoid.
Well, they say that diamonds are forever, so red triangles are just worth one term.
Court.
Oh man, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's a tent.
All right, we got 50 seconds left. I think it is the new Space Force logo because Netflix trademarked the original before they were able to.
I think that's the winner right there. That's perfect. That's right. I was going to say it's an unfinished mold of a fleshlight.
See, I was going to say it's an homage to his mentor and life coach, the Dark Lord Satan.
True.
Yeah, there's
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, definitely some owlish. What is it? What's the grove they go to?
Oh, Bohemian Grove. It's
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove.
It's actual child sacrifice. In there.
Yes.
It's Satan. Satan himself is there.
That's a pretty darn good Alex Jones, man.
Triangle, right?
Give me some of those male supplements.
All right, well, there's the bell. There's the bell. I think we've solved the puzzle. No, Trump's not a Nazi, not a literal Nazi. How dare you? He just uses Nazi symbolism, uses the 88 and the 14, and says horribly racist, stupid shit like he invented Juneteenth. So,
Fuck
You
Trump.
can't help what inspires him.
I mean, if the quote is, from what's that idiot's name? Al Gore. If the quote from him is that he invented the internet, which that's not the actual quote.
Right. That's way out of context.
But he's an idiot, and he
Hate
said
him.
something akin to that. So
Trump invented Juneteenth.
when Trump says Nazi-ish stuff and he invented Juneteenth, then I'm going to say he said he invented Juneteenth. So, ta-da! That's how history works.
Solve the puzzle.
Yeah. I mean, what's the only political quote that exists now that's actually real? Dan Quayle spelling potato with an E?
Oh, God. I wish we could return to those days.
And ketchup is a vegetable.
Technically it is. All right.
So is
Well,
pizza?
we are going to call it a night. This is a long one. We still have verminsupreme2020.com/shop, 2020.com/fan-club. Join the fan club. Brand new stickers. Vermin Supreme is gonna take your guns and give you better ones. Check that out.
And he's got a good book.
Also, if you click around a little bit, you might be able to find episode 0 on that page somewhere if you're really, really smart. We are starting the Vermin Supreme Institute. It will be a non-profit organization. It is a non-profit organization. We are filed, and we are very steadily building our infrastructure there. So you'll hear more about that if you listen to the podcast.
Nice.
As far as what? Anybody else? Keep following Spike. Follow him on Twitter at Spike Cohen. Follow Spike on Facebook. I think just search Spike Cohen. I don't remember what it is exactly. I think it's just Spike Cohen. Work hard. Make him your next VP. No matter who
Mike
he is.
Cohen with the blue verified check mark.
Yeah, he's checked.
Sweet.
He is gaining ground fast. People are hearing it. People are seeing him. People are following him. People love him, and it's getting there. Let's help him out whatever way we can. Give to Joe. That helps Spike. In the meantime, it's good to be back. It's good to be alive. I'm really glad I could do this, and we will continue to. I think we're going to go on a 2-week schedule from here on out. And so look for those episodes or should be dropping here soon. So we'll be here.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for coming
you,
on,
Ryan.
Ryan.
I appreciate you being here. You added a lot to the proceedings,
Thanks.
especially with Jackie having gotten arrested and thrown in jail for
Having the biggest dick in Boston.
flashing the biggest dick in Boston. Yeah.
But you mentioned Spike, and you know, I wanted to say too, join us over at Fakertarians page on Facebook, Fakertarians. You can even find Fakertarians.com, and then there's the Fakertarians discussion group that's so much fun to be in. And we have our podcast that we're doing on Saturdays. Our next one, whenever that's going to be, coming up this Saturday from right now when you're hearing my voice, Josh Smith is going to join us. It's going to be controversial.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So, but no, I'm very proud to be here. So happy to be here. Had
Just
a lot
any
of fun
Josh
with all
Smith
y'all.
or a specific Josh Smith?
Josh Smith, he's running for some shit in the LP.
The guy that's going to lose for chairman or whatever that is.
Buy his shoes.
Yes.
Please.
Shoes.
Those shoes. But anyway, thank you so much for having me. It
Thank
was a real
you.
pleasure,
I'm
and I
glad you
hope
got
to be
your
back
plugs
again.
in.
Apparently.
All right. What are we going to go out with tonight? Killdozer?
The band? Yeah, of course, always, but we got to figure it out.
1, 2, 3.
I didn't know what we were doing.